EV company blows whistle on potential corruption. This is one that hits genuinely close to actual home. The government of British Columbia, Canada, is investigating allegations of potential conflicts of interest in how provincial low-carbon innovation grants are administered. This follows an allegation from CEO Chase Barber of Edison Motors, who claims that MNP, a gigantic accounting firm involved in administering grants, reached out to his company after declining their first application. Okay. According to
the doc together a little quickly today, folks.
Yeah, it's genuinely not their fault. Yeah. I'm just trying to piece it together.
By the way, just quick shout out Edison Motors. These guys are doing absolutely incredible work. If anyone from Edison is watching right now, we would love to do a video together.
That would be sick.
I think actually Alex from our team may be in touch, but just want to indicate my super willingness to come over there and check out what you guys are doing, because it's outstanding. It looks absolutely incredible.
That would be awesome. According to Barber, rolling back just because it's been a little bit, the CEO of Edison Motors, MNP offered Edison Motors a service to help them apply for future grants, which included a success fee of 20% of the grant's value. Ew. Should the application succeed? It's unclear from publicly available information whether these grants included the ones that MNP was helping administer. I'm going to pause. There's more of this topic, but I've heard of this a lot before with government grants where they're effectively impossible to get unless you partner with a company who takes a significant portion of the money, which means that your government tax credits, which are supposed to power innovation and business growth within your country, are being diluted by middlemen. That is the only way to actually get them.
The business of being a worthless middleman is a business. They're growing that business.
We should find a way to delete all of them. Anyways, I'm going to move on. Barber says that he raised concerns with the energy ministry in person and shortly after his company was disinvited from a promotional event by a government-funded lobby group for vehicle electrification. Edison Motors is the only company in the province that manufactures heavy-duty electric trucks. MNP threatened,
sick, by the way,
and they're actually like genuinely very, very cool. MNP has threatened to sue Edison Motors, which is a small privately owned company. According to Barber, the company can't afford a legal battle with $1 billion company. Neither could like most people, so I don't blame them. Barber, and stated that he personally lives with his parents because, as far as my understanding goes, he has invested like everything he can into the company, which is the like driven, dedicated.
That's what we should be trying to encourage. Dude.
Yes.
That's what we should want out of entrepreneurs, is people
Edison Motors
doing everything that it takes to kill it, and we should be supporting that.
They've been pushing limits of technology. They've been pushing limits of quality. They've been doing all these things that we British Columbia should be very proud of this company and be trying to prop them up, not trying to step on their neck. So this is very frustrating. We've got a couple discussion questions. Even if MNP hasn't technically done anything wrong, shouldn't Edison Motors be allowed to raise concerns without the threat of a company-crushing lawsuit? Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you should be able to raise concerns about anything ever. And the worst case scenario should be, hey, we've investigated your concerns and we don't agree with them. Like, you can't be punished for I mean, honestly though, there's so many things that are like this. I mean, the US is finally growing a spine about the whole realtor thing, how difficult it is to sell a home without a realtor, and how those fees have absolutely ballooned in recent decades to the point where the simple job of being a sales rep and helping you list your house and fill out some paperwork has turned people into these multi-gazillionaires. And to be clear, I'm not down on anyone who's busting their butt as a realtor. I understand that it's one of those
skill
jobs,
sets there,
like being a Twitch streamer. Yeah, where the 1% that are crushing it are sort of overrepresented in our perception, but actually most of them are struggling to sell a house, whereas those few that are succeeding have, a team of people working for them, and they're basically just parasitically taking money from them. I get that, but also just The business of being a middleman should be fine, but it shouldn't be this lucrative. And you know what, Luke? I don't want to get too much into it, but we've, as a company, had experiences that strike me
Oh
as
yeah.
not that dissimilar to this.
Oh yeah. I've
whether we're
directly been
talking
involved with
about-
some of them.
Yeah. And none of this should be necessary. You should be able to fill out the paperwork the right way and submit your application according to the process that is on your government's website. And it should be processed in priority sequence, and then it should be dealt with. Okay, you know what? Fine, I'm saying it. Yvonne is still chasing some kind of credit that we've been due since 2018. Like, what? I'm sure if we knew someone, that wouldn't be the case.
And the biggest problem with that, because like if you're hearing this, yes, that's a very, 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 very long delay. That is pretty ridiculous. It's 2024 now. That's 6 years. The biggest impact of that to me is not something that we necessarily even felt that much, which is if you're not as...
That was when we needed the money.
Exactly.
We're still here 6 years later. We needed it then.
Yes, if you're a smaller startup company, you need everything you can possibly get because you don't have a lot of assets yet. You don't have a significant amount of cash flow yet, probably. All these other things. You need that capital to be able to keep progressing. So by holding it for this long and making it so hard to get, what you're really doing is only enabling large companies to be able to get this this money, which in a lot of cases they probably didn't even really need. It might benefit them. They might be able to do a little bit more from it, but they probably didn't like need it. And the companies that really needed it, it could have made or break their whole company, and then they'd be fine after that, are generally unable to get it. So very frustrating.
So shout out Edison Motors.
Yeah.
These guys are doing super cool stuff. We'd love to collab with them and see if we can get them some much needed attention, see if we can drive some business their way. Honestly, what I suspect is that their bottleneck, because the product is super cool, what I suspect is that their bottleneck is more just capital, which is probably why this is so frustrating for them. I'm speculating right now, but when your tech is that cool, I suspect it's production capacity that's holding them back right now, not having a cool product.
My grandpa used to work in financing for semi-trucks. These things are expensive. I'm sure a new company trying to get into the space isn't going to be able to produce a enormous amount of them all the time. There's a lot of cost involved. So, yeah.